Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Have you ever wondered if the loose change in your pocket could secretly hold the power to change your financial life forever? What if I told you that a simple 1994 quarter dollar from the United States, a coin that looks just like every other piece of 25-cent currency, could actually be worth a jaw-dropping $745 because of a rare combination of mint errors, die imperfections, striking anomalies, and historical oddities that have propelled it into the upper echelon of modern coinage collectibles, making it one of the most sought-after and valuable coins ever discovered in recent American numismatic history. And what's truly fascinating is that this coin, this small, ordinary-looking piece of copper-nickel-clad metal that was mass-produced by the Philadelphia Mint in the millions, has somehow transcended its original face value of just a quarter dollar and reached an elite collector status simply because of the incredibly rare and specific kinds of errors that managed to slip past the rigorous quality control processes of the United States Mint, beginning with the most talked about and visually striking mistake known as the off-center strike, where the obverse or reverse design is noticeably misaligned due to improper feeding of the blank planchet during the minting process, which results in a partial design that is instantly noticeable and undeniably unique, drawing immediate attention from collectors and numismatists who are always on the lookout for coins with major visible errors like this, especially when the date and mintmark remain fully legible despite the displacement, because that adds immense desirability to the coin. And if that off-center strike is dramatic enough, say 10% to 50% off, it transforms the coin from a minor curiosity to a major rarity. But that's not the only error that contributes to the extraordinary value of the 1994 quarter, because there are also coins known to exist with broad strikes. Another dramatic minting mistake where the collar die malfunctions and fails to properly contain the metal during the striking process, causing the quarter to spread out wider and flatter than intended, producing a coin with a smooth rim and unusual shape that screams mint error to any trained eye, and that error alone can fetch hundreds of dollars on the open market. But the story doesn't end there, as some 1994 quarters have also surfaced showing double die obverse DDO and double die reverse DDR effects, where the coin's design elements, such as the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" or "United States of America," appear double due to a misalignment during the hubbing of the die itself. And this kind of doubling, when bold and easily visible without magnification, skyrockets a coin's value in the eyes of collectors and auction houses alike, especially if it can be certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, which not only authenticate the error but also assign it a grade based on its condition, with higher grades like MS65, MS66, or even MS67 being extremely rare and exponentially more valuable, because when you combine a dramatic error like doubling with a high mint state grade, you're looking at a coin that very few people in the world will ever hold in their hand, and that exclusivity is what drives prices into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially when these error coins make their way into high-profile auctions or are featured in coin collecting forums, magazines, or viral online videos, further boosting their notoriety and fueling demand from eager buyers who want to own a piece of modern numismatic history. And speaking of notoriety, another factor contributing to the 1994 quarter's rising fame is the occasional presence of clipped planchets, where the metal blank from which the coin is struck was accidentally cut from a sheet in such a way that a small portion of the coin is literally missing, often resulting in crescent-shaped voids along the edge that are unmistakable and highly prized by error coin specialists who cherish these clips as tangible evidence of the chaotic and mechanical nature of mass coin production. And when such a clipped planchet error is paired with other defects like off-center strikes or doubling, the combination creates a perfect storm of minting rarity that sends the coin's value soaring well beyond what anyone would expect from a quarter minted in the mid-1990s. And let's not forget the significance of die cracks and die chips, subtle but fascinating anomalies that occur when the steel dies used to strike coins begin to wear out or suffer stress fractures, resulting in raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the finished coins that often appear as unusual growths or jagged streaks across Washington's portrait or the eagle on the reverse. And these imperfections, while sometimes small, can become major focal points when they appear in dramatic form, especially if they are positioned in such a way that collectors give them nicknames, such as Spitting Eagle or Lightning Bolt Cheek, which instantly elevate their collectability and lore within the community. And it's this constant interplay between human error, mechanical failure, and collector fascination that breathes life into what would otherwise be a forgettable coin from a year of high mintage. But the 1994 P-quarter defies the odds by serving as a canvas for all manner of striking flaws and variations, including rare transitional planchet errors where a coin intended to be struck on a copper nickel-clad blank was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, like a dime, or even a foreign coin, resulting in underweight quarters with off-color appearances and mismatched metal compositions that are incredibly rare and always command premium prices when authenticated. And this kind of error reminds collectors and casual observers alike that even in the highly regulated environment of the U.S. Mint, mistakes not only happen, they sometimes make history. And speaking of history, the 1994 P-quarter also enjoys a special place in the broader timeline of American coinage because it was struck during a transitional period in the Mint's technological evolution, as more advanced die-making and quality control systems were being introduced. Yet the persistence of so many error coins from this year reveals the tension between old methods and new machinery, making these quarters snapshots of a mint in flux. And that historical backdrop adds a layer of narrative richness that collectors absolutely love because it transforms the coin from a mere collectible into a tangible artifact of a changing era. And as more people become aware of this particular year and mintmark through viral social media posts, educational videos, and online coin marketplaces, the demand for high-grade error examples continues to climb, especially among younger collectors who are just discovering the thrill of the hunt and realize that even pocket change can hold surprises worth hundreds of dollars. And it's precisely this excitement, the possibility that any ordinary-looking coin could be a hidden treasure, that keeps the legend of the 1994 P-quarter alive, growing, and circulating in collector circles with ever-increasing intensity. And if you've made it this far, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more discoveries like this. And always check your change because you never know when that humble quarter in your hand might just be worth $745 or even more. Next, 1980 P-quarter dollar USA coin. Are you ready to uncover one of the most astonishing and shocking stories behind an ordinary-looking coin that might just be sitting quietly in your pocket change or coin jar? Because today we're diving deep into the mysterious and jaw-dropping journey of the 1980 P Washington quarter. A coin with a face value of just 25 cents, but one that has stunned collectors and treasure hunters alike by fetching up to $724 and even more in auctions and private sales due to its rare errors, striking anomalies, and historical significance in the world of numismatics. So make sure you like the video, smash that subscribe button, and stick with us until the end because you never know, you might have this hidden gem just waiting to change your fortune forever. So let's get into why exactly this quarter minted in Philadelphia in 1980 with no mint mark. Made out of copper nickel-clad composition and weighing 5.67 grams, featuring George Washington's iconic profile on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse, has become such a hot topic among coin collectors and enthusiasts all over the world. And while most people would glance over this coin thinking it's just pocket change, the truth is that some specific examples of this coin have sold for hundreds of dollars due to a fascinating combination of mint errors, condition rarity, and historical quirks tied to the production methods used at the time. For instance, double die obverse errors have been reported, where the inscriptions such as Liberty and In God We Trust show strong doubling, especially around the letters and George Washington's profile, which are extremely appealing to collectors who are willing to pay a premium for dramatic doubling that's clearly visible even without magnification. and in some rare specimens, there are die cracks running through the coin's surface, creating patterns that almost look like lightning bolts or spiderwebs across Washington's face or neck, and these kinds of dramatic die breaks, especially when they intersect design elements or letters, elevate a common coin to a rare treasure almost instantly. And then we have off-center strikes where the coin wasn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing parts of the design to be missing or pushed to one side, with the most valuable being those struck 50% off-center yet still showing a full date. Those are incredibly desirable and frequently bring in several $100s at auctions, and let's not forget broad-struck errors, where the coin was struck without the retaining collar and expanded outward, resulting in a warped and distorted appearance that's highly collectible, and in some astonishing cases, there have been reports of 1980 quarters struck on planchets meant for other coins like dimes or foreign coins, which are extraordinarily rare and cause immediate buzz in the numismatic world because mismatched planchet errors are almost always the result of flukes in the minting process and are highly sought after due to their visual and weight differences from regular quarters. And some of the most impressive 1980p quarters have been found in pristine mint state grades, particularly those graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC. And while the average quarter from that year might only fetch a few cents over face value, those in superb gem condition with brilliant luster, clean surfaces, and strong strikes are considered population rarities and command prices into the hundreds or even above $700 when combined with an error or a visually dramatic feature. And what makes the 1980p quarter so compelling is that it came out during a period of transition and experimentation at the U.S. Mint, where the use of aging dies and heavy production quotas led to an increased number of mistakes and inconsistencies, all of which mean that more error coins slipped through undetected, and with the lack of a mint mark indicating it was struck at Philadelphia, many casual collectors overlook these coins entirely, not realizing that this particular year and mint combo holds a goldmine of potential value, especially when the coin shows clear mint errors, unusually high eye appeal, or condition rarity. And then there's the aspect of coin roll hunting, where entire YouTube communities and hobbyists spend countless hours going through quarter rolls from banks just hoping to find one of these valuable pieces. And believe it or not, some people have actually pulled high grade error quarters from bank rolls or even circulation, completely unaware at first that they were holding a piece of numismatic treasure potentially worth hundreds of dollars. And while many 1980p quarters are still out there in circulation, finding one in a high grade with no wear and a unique error can be like hitting the jackpot, and that's why it's so important to inspect your coins carefully. Pay attention to details like doubling, off-center designs, unusual weights, or planchet anomalies, and consider sending any potential find to a professional grading service which can certify the coin's authenticity and condition and dramatically increase its market value. And while the market for rare coins continues to grow year after year, the demand for visually stunning and technically rare error coins like the 1980p quarter remains strong because collectors know how difficult it is to find these coins in top condition or with spectacular errors. And every time one surfaces at an auction or estate sale, it creates a wave of interest and competition, often resulting in bidding wars that drive prices well beyond estimates. And when you consider the thrill of the hunt, the historical context, and the sheer rarity of certain error types, it becomes clear why coins like this have become legendary, and why this seemingly simple 25-cent piece has reached a staggering value of $724, and in some rare graded and error-filled cases even more, making it one of the most talked about coins from the 1980s and a must-have for any serious collector looking to round out their Washington quarter collection. So before you toss away that change or overlook a common-looking quarter, take a closer look, pull out your magnifying glass, and examine every detail, because you never know if you're staring at a minor fortune hidden in plain sight. And if this kind of coin content and treasure hunting thrill excites you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more insights into rare coin values and discoveries, And always check your change because the next big money coin could be in your hands right now, just like the 1980p Washington quarter that turned its humble 25-cent face value into a whopping $724. An unbelievable piece of history and an unforgettable reminder that extraordinary value can often be found in the most ordinary places. Next, 1992p quarter dollar USA coin. Every coin tells a story, and today's incredible story revolves around a 1992p quarter dollar that might seem like just pocket change to some but has made headlines and captured the attention of collectors, historians, and everyday people alike because of one shocking reason. Its estimated value soaring to an astonishing $684, all due to rare errors, minting mistakes, and die variations that make it one of the most intriguing and valuable pieces in modern American coinage history. So if you ever thought loose change was just spare metal, think again, because you might be holding on to a potential treasure without even realizing it. Now, before we dive deep into the historical richness and technical uniqueness of the 1992p quarter, let's set the stage. The Philadelphia Mint in 1992 was producing billions of coins to satisfy the needs of a bustling economy. Yet, in the midst of these high-speed operations, some coins slipped through quality control, containing rare defects and anomalies that turned ordinary pocket change into remarkable collectible items. One of the first and most fascinating features that collectors look for in this quarter is a misaligned die strike, which causes the obverse or reverse image to be slightly off-center, resulting in a dramatic appearance that instantly attracts attention. Misalignments like these often happen when the dies used to strike the coin are improperly positioned or when the planchet isn't seated correctly, creating a final product that's drastically different from standard minted coins and instantly increasing its value on the numismatic market. Another reason this 1992p quarter has caught fire among collectors is due to doubling errors, specifically a type called a doubled die, where elements like the date, motto, or Liberty inscription appear to have shadows or ghost images due to the die being struck twice slightly out of alignment. These doubled dies can create a mesmerizing effect and are widely sought after, and when present on a coin with a high mint mark like the 1992p, their rarity and desirability skyrocket, adding layers to its collectible status. Aside from doubled dies, another critical error found in some of these quarters is die cracks, which occur when the die itself becomes worn or fractured over time and leaves raised lines or fissures on the coin's surface, often resembling lightning bolts or tree branches and transforming the coin into a miniature canvas of natural-looking chaos that's actually a product of mechanical wear. Die cracks not only make each coin unique but also serve as physical proof of the imperfections in the minting process, which is something collectors deeply appreciate because it connects them to the living history of coin production. Let's not forget the infamous off-metal strikes where a coin intended to be a quarter is mistakenly struck on a planchet meant for a different denomination, or even a foreign coin, leading to size, weight, and composition discrepancies that are both detectable and highly collectible. Imagine a 1992p quarter struck on a nickel planchet, instantly reducing its diameter and making it an ultra-rare era piece whose uniqueness makes it a must-have in any serious collection. Then there are clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin appears to be missing due to a flaw in the cutting process, creating an unmistakable crescent-shaped void that's impossible to fake and instantly intriguing. Some 1992p quarters have also been found with broad strike errors, where the coin was struck without the restraining collar, causing the metal to spread out more than normal and leading to a wider, flatter appearance that makes the coin stand out in any batch. Other anomalies include cut errors, which are raised blobs of metal resulting from a chunk of the die breaking off during the striking process. And these blobs can cover parts of letters or numbers, creating bizarre, yet fascinating distortions that make each coin one of a kind. Beyond minting errors, let's talk about varieties, which are intentional or semi-intentional differences created during the production process. For example, variations in the positioning or shape of the P mint mark, different font thicknesses in the inscriptions, and even minor differences in George Washington's facial features or the eagle's feathers on the reverse can make collectors extremely interested in a specific piece. The Magic lies in the details, and any deviation from the standard template can significantly increase the coin's market value. But what really drives up the price of such a quarter is not just the presence of one error, but often a combination of two or more. Imagine a 1992 P quarter with a misaligned obverse, a cut error on the reverse, and die cracks running through the motto. This kind of compound error scenario exponentially increases the rarity and demand of the coin, pushing its value up to hundreds of dollars or more at auction. And when these coins show up in mint state or uncirculated condition, their value multiplies yet again, since preservation plays a crucial role in numismatics. Even a slight scratch or wear mark can reduce a coin's appeal. So finding a 1992 P quarter with such errors in pristine shape is like discovering a time capsule from the past that managed to evade all the wear and tear of circulation. Collectors and grading agencies like PCGS or NGC often assign premium values to these well-preserved error coins, further validating their worth in the eyes of both buyers and sellers. Another intriguing possibility that increases the value is the presence of transitional errors, which occur when a coin design or composition is changed, but the old and new features mix due to leftover dies or blanks being used in the minting process, although less common in quarters than in pennies. The possibility of a transitional error still lingers and makes any 1992 P specimen worth a second look under magnification. And speaking of magnification, many of these errors and anomalies can only be fully appreciated using tools like jeweler's loupes or USB microscopes, which allow hobbyists to explore the fine details that give these coins their premium value. Sometimes the smallest die gouge or the faintest doubling can be the difference between a face value coin and one worth hundreds of dollars. What makes the 1992 P quarter particularly special is that it represents a convergence of common circulation with hidden rarity. Millions were minted and used for everyday transactions, yet among these were hidden gems that defy standard expectations and challenge our understanding of value. It's this mystery, this hunt for something rare in the ordinary, that fuels the passion of coin collectors and propels seemingly mundane coins into the limelight. And thanks to the internet, online auctions, and coin forums, stories of rare finds like the $684 valued 1992 P quarter spread rapidly, increasing awareness and inspiring people across the world to examine their change more closely. And as more coins are discovered, the value of high-grade examples or those with unique error combinations can increase even further. Scarcity plus demand always equals high value, and with third-party grading and authentication services playing a pivotal role in verifying these finds, the market continues to grow stronger each year. For those wondering how to spot a valuable 1992 P quarter, it's all about attention to detail. Look for off-center strikes, missing letters, extra thickness in text, planchet flaws, and irregular shapes, all of which can signal a coin that's worth significantly more than its face value. It's also important to consult with experienced collectors or attend coin shows where you can compare your finds with authenticated examples. Building your own knowledge is the best way to avoid fakes and make smart buying or selling decisions. And for those lucky enough to stumble upon one of these rare quarters in their spare change or old piggy banks, the thrill of discovering that a coin worth 25 cents is now appraised at $684 is unmatched and unforgettable. It speaks to the enduring allure of numismatics as both a hobby and an investment, where history, craftsmanship, and market dynamics converge to create surprising opportunities for wealth and wonder. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about the coins in your pocket, the story of the 1992 P quarter dollar is a powerful reminder that value often lies hidden beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered by a keen eye and a curious mind. Keep searching, keep learning, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more incredible stories. Next, 1980 D quarter dollar USA coin, the ultimate deep dive into one of the most astonishing coin discoveries that has recently gained massive attention in the collectors community. A coin that many of you may have come across in your pocket change or tucked away in an old drawer. The 1980 D Washington quarter, a coin minted in Denver with a face value of just 25 cents. now astonishingly valued by collectors and auction houses at up to $466 or more because of its remarkable errors and minting mistakes that transformed it from a simple circulated coin into a numismatic treasure worth big money. So buckle up as we unravel the complexities and rare circumstances that have given rise to this extraordinary value and explain everything that makes the 1980 D quarter so desirable, unique, and historically significant in the eyes of seasoned coin collectors, error hunters, and auction bidders alike who are always in search of the next big find hiding in plain sight. And what exactly drives the seemingly humble quarter to achieve such an extraordinary monetary status, starting from its history as part of the long-running Washington Quarter series first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. This quarter became part of regular coinage, but as years passed, collectors began to take notice of specific years and mintmarks where abnormalities appeared due to flaws in the minting process or unique circumstances at the mint facility, and 1980 was one of those years where some striking mishaps gave birth to these rare and valuable pieces, and especially at the Denver Mint, known for mass production, the chances of mint errors slipping through the system increased substantially, and what distinguishes the valuable 1980 D quarters from ordinary ones is the presence of multiple die varieties, misstrikes, and planchet issues that only a trained eye or experienced enthusiast might catch, but once identified, can dramatically escalate the worth of the coin beyond its nominal value. Let's delve into the types of minting errors observed in the 1980 D quarter and how they contribute to its remarkable value. One of the most prominent and highly sought-after error types in this coin is the double die obverse or DDO, where the design on the obverse side, including Washington's profile, inscriptions like "In God We Trust" and "Liberty," and the date itself, appear to have a slight but noticeable duplication caused when the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured or aligned, creating a doubling effect that is visible under magnification or, in some extreme cases, to the naked eye. And these DDO errors are prized because they represent a tangible mistake in the production process that's extremely difficult to replicate, making each piece inherently rare, especially if the doubling is crisp and easily noticeable. Another valuable type of error associated with the 1980 D quarter is the off-center strike, where the coin was not perfectly aligned when struck by the dies, resulting in a design that appears skewed or cut off toward one edge, with some parts of the coin missing or disproportionately shaped, and depending on the degree of off-centeredness, which is often measured in percentages, the value can vary, with more dramatic off-center strikes, like 50% off-center with clear dates, commanding much higher prices. Then there are planchet errors, involving the metal blank used to create the coin. Sometimes the blank is improperly prepared, leading to issues like clipped planchets, where a portion of the coin appears to have been cut or punched out prior to striking, or lamination errors where the surface of the coin appears peeled or flaked due to metal impurities. These errors result in irregular textures or incomplete images and are highly desirable when they do not compromise the visibility of critical elements like the date and mint mark. The 1980 D quarter is also known to feature certain RPMs or repunched mint marks, which occur when the mint mark D was manually punched more than once, often in slightly different locations or angles, creating a shadow or doubled effect under magnification, and although subtle, these RPMs serve as clear identifiers of error coins and are often listed in specialist coin guides and error coin catalogs, giving them legitimacy and recognition among collectors and dramatically increasing their auction potential. Some quarters from this year also show die cracks and die chips, which occur when the die used to strike the coin develops fractures or chunks break off, leading to raised metal lines or blobs appearing in unusual places on the coin, such as near Washington's hair, mouth, or on the eagle's wings on the reverse. While these might seem like imperfections, to collectors they're markers of unique and unrepeatable minting anomalies that make a coin stand out from the millions of flawless examples. And even though these errors might seem small to the average person, within the numismatic world they carry substantial weight in determining a coin's collectability and value. Some even have nicknames within the collector community and are tracked in error coin registries, further increasing their market profile. But what truly drives the price to levels like $466 and beyond is the combination of rarity, condition, and demand. With coins in higher grades, those preserved in near-perfect mint state, MS, or those graded by services like PCGS or NGC, being especially valuable, and when such a coin also contains one or more of the aforementioned errors, its value multiplies significantly, sometimes exponentially depending on the uniqueness and visibility of the flaw. And it's important to note that while hundreds of millions of quarters were minted in 1980 with the Denver mark, only a fraction contain these errors and an even smaller fraction have been discovered in high-grade condition, making the pursuit of such a coin akin to a modern-day treasure hunt for both amateurs and experts alike, and the excitement of searching through rolls of quarters or old coin jars for one of these gems is part of what fuels the market. Every error coin is essentially a fingerprint of a moment in minting history, a fleeting mishap immortalized in metal, and that's what makes them so collectible. For instance, a collector who stumbles upon a 1980 D quarter with a strong double die and minimal wear might have just uncovered a mini fortune without even realizing it, and with coin dealers and online auctions placing increasing premiums on these errors, especially as awareness grows through social media, YouTube, and collector forums, the price trajectory has shown an upward trend, and many collectors report successful flips of these coins for hundreds of dollars when sold to the right buyer or through a certified auction platform. And it's not just errors that affect value. Toning, changes in the coin's coloration, due to environmental exposure, can sometimes add aesthetic appeal and premium, especially when the toning is uniform and creates vibrant hues like blues, purples, and golds, while others might prefer blast white unto net examples. The presence of attractive toning on an error coin can make it even more unique, and authentication is key, because as values rise so do attempts at counterfeiting or artificial alterations. So if you believe you possess a valuable 1980 D quarter, submitting it to a trusted third-party grading service is essential not just for verifying the error but for preserving the coin and assigning a marketable grade that buyers trust. And let's not overlook the historical context of this coin, arriving at a time when the U.S. Mint was under pressure to meet rising demand for coinage amidst growing populations and economic fluctuations. The emphasis was on quantity over quality, which inadvertently allowed for more errors to pass through, and these factors all contribute to the mystique and intrigue surrounding the 1980 D quarter. And while the coin may seem ordinary at first glance, a closer inspection, especially with a loupe or magnifying glass, can reveal the extraordinary details that make it truly one of a kind. From doubled inscriptions to misaligned dies to cracked planchets and beyond, each error tells a story of what went wrong, and how that moment of imperfection resulted in an object of fascination and substantial worth. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter, a curious newcomer, or someone rummaging through an old collection, the next time you come across a 1980 D quarter, pay close attention because that 25-cent piece might just be one of the rare examples that carries a hidden value of $466 or more, and could be your gateway into the world of rare coin collecting, auctions, and numismatic passion that continues to grow year after year. And if you've learned something new or found this exploration helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more in-depth content on coin values and rare finds, and share it with fellow collectors because who knows, you or someone you know might just be holding on to a small piece of history with a big price tag. Last 1983 P quarter dollar USA coin, the ultimate destination for coin collectors, treasure hunters, and enthusiasts of hidden numismatic gems, where we bring to you the most surprising and thrilling discoveries from the world of currency and rare coins. And today's focus is a coin that has caused a stir in the collector's market. A coin that at first glance might appear ordinary but holds a secret that turns its face value of just 25 cents into a jaw-dropping $666 due to an incredible set of errors, a series of minting flaws, and rare characteristics that have propelled it into the spotlight of valuable U.S. coinage, and we're talking about the 1983 P-quarter dollar, a seemingly common coin that millions of Americans have seen or spent without ever knowing they might be holding on to a piece of hidden fortune, because the 1983 P-quarter, minted in Philadelphia, holds historical significance and unique attributes due to a combination of economic circumstances, minting mistakes, missing elements, and die conditions that make it one of the most sought-after coins among dedicated collectors and experts who understand the intricacies and rarity of such pieces. And it all begins with the context of 1983 itself, a year when the United States Mint did not produce any official mint sets for collectors, meaning that the only way to obtain uncirculated examples of coins from this year was to find them directly from bank rolls or circulation, which drastically limited the number of pristine examples and greatly contributed to the scarcity of high-quality 1983 coins. And in the case of the 1983 P-quarter, this scarcity is only the tip of the iceberg, as what truly adds to its $666 value are the multiple types of errors and anomalies that have been discovered in various specimens. Starting with the most talked about and infamous issue known as the spitting eagle error, a striking and visually unique die clash error where a raised line appears from the eagle's beak to the edge of the coin on the reverse side, which gives the illusion that the eagle is spitting or releasing something from its mouth, a minting defect that occurred due to a die crack or die gouge and has fascinated collectors not just for its odd appearance, but for how clearly it demonstrates a flaw in the minting process. And the value of such spitting eagle error coins has soared dramatically, especially in uncirculated conditions, with examples selling for hundreds and even close to $1,000 depending on the clarity of the defect and the coin's overall state. But the rarity doesn't end there, because several 1983 P-quarters are also known to exhibit off-center strikes, broad strikes, and misaligned dies that result in parts of the design being skewed, missing, or off balance, all of which are minting errors that make the coins more collectible. And when these mistakes are found in tandem with other issues like die cracks, die chips, or cuds, they command even higher premiums. And it's this combination of multiple error types that can push the coin's worth to $666 and beyond, especially if found in a preserved state or accompanied by provenance of origin. And then there is the matter of weak strikes and planchet issues, where some 1983 P-quarters appear with incomplete detail due to improper striking pressure or worn dies, leading to missing or faded design features such as a ghostly Washington bust, an incomplete date, or missing mint mark features, and such. Weakly struck coins are further evidence of the wear and tear the dies went through during that year, and the planchets themselves, the blank discs onto which the designs are stamped, sometimes suffer from laminations or surface peeling, which results in flaking layers of the coin metal, all of which are not only signs of minting error but increase the intrigue and desirability of the coin. And let's not forget the die polishing marks, which occasionally appear as unusual or unnatural lines, scratches, or streaks that were not meant to be part of the original design but resulted from attempts to prolong the life of aging dies. And collectors often seek out these variants, especially when they result in partial missing design elements or distorted details, such as a missing E in Liberty or deformed facial features on Washington's portrait. And in addition to that, some 1983 P-quarters display rotated dies where the front and back sides are misaligned when flipped, which is a rarity in modern coinage and adds significant value to those specimens that exhibit a clearly defined rotation. And all of these attributes make the 1983 P-quarter a goldmine of minting mishaps and numismatic interest. And the condition of the coin, graded by professionals through systems like the Sheldon scale, plays a huge role in the valuation, because a coin with these errors in a mint state, graded MS65 or higher, can command premium prices and reach or surpass the $666 mark because of the dual appeal of condition and error type. And speaking of the minting process itself, it's crucial to understand that the Philadelphia Mint in 1983 was dealing with high-volume production demands without the collector-focused quality control of previous or later years due to the absence of mint sets and the economic constraints of the time. leading to overused dies, hurried production, and the resulting errors that now make these coins rare. And since most of these quarters were released into circulation and heavily used, finding one in pristine or even lightly circulated condition is exceedingly rare, which contributes even more to their value as it combines error scarcity with condition rarity, and collectors scour coin rolls, estate sales, and pocket change in the hopes of uncovering one of these hidden treasures. And auction records show verified examples of 1983 error quarters reaching incredible price points, especially when encapsulated by trusted grading services like PCGS or NGC, and some of the more exceptional finds include those with struck-through errors where foreign material like grease or cloth interfered with the coin's strike, leaving behind distorted or partially missing features that are extremely desirable and highly valued. And on top of that, there are coins with doubling errors known as double die obverse or double die reverse, where the design appears to be repeated or shadowed, creating a fascinating visual anomaly that is especially noticeable in the date, model, or lettering. And while doubling errors are rare for this coin, when found they fetch extraordinary prices due to their eye appeal and documented mint origin. And what makes the 1983 quarter so exciting is the layered history and complex web of circumstances that led to its creation and the subsequent chaos of its distribution, because without the usual mint sets to preserve high-grade examples, collectors must rely on lucky finds and second-hand sources to obtain this coin, which makes every surviving error coin all the more valuable and intriguing. And beyond its physical characteristics, the 1983 quarter has become a cultural artifact representing a unique era of U.S. coin production where volume trumped perfection, and the consequences were coins riddled with mistakes that later became goldmines for collectors. And stories abound of individuals who unknowingly held onto one for decades, only to later discover that a coin they once used to buy candy now pays for luxury goods or adds significantly to their retirement savings. And social media, YouTube channels, and online auction platforms have only heightened the awareness and demand for such coins, with videos and posts going viral about the spitting eagle and other rare variants, encouraging more people to check their change and investigate their old coin jars. And there's a growing community of error coin enthusiasts who specifically hunt for 1983 quarters, exchanging photos, tips, and verified sales data to further their knowledge and investment strategies. And even new collectors are learning how to recognize the key signs such as die cracks through the eagle's beak, off-center minting, and unusual surfaces that may point to a $666 treasure. And what makes these coins even more fascinating is their survival story. How they slipped through the cracks of quality control and into the hands of everyday Americans, unknowingly bearing the features that now make them high-value collectibles. And even now, decades later, fresh examples are being discovered in circulation and coin shops, often undervalued until examined closely under magnification, making them a symbol of hidden value in plain sight. And it is this mixture of history, minting anomalies, visual uniqueness, and market scarcity that fuels their continued rise in value and popularity among collectors and investors alike. And every year that passes only adds to their desirability, because as more are lost, damaged, or hoarded, fewer remain available to the public, driving up prices and cementing the 1983 quarter as one of the most iconic era coins in American numismatic history. And so whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just learning about the fascinating world of rare coins, the 1983 quarter offers a lesson in how the smallest of details and the rarest of mistakes can lead to astonishing value.